the problem with going to NYU is that there's so many rich kids that you're surrounded by that are affording all these luxurious dates like omakase, stuff that you see in your Instagram feed that is really nice. But I myself, being a regular kid, wouldn't be able to afford that. So I would have a lot of trouble coming up with very affordable dates that were still going to be very fun for me and my partner. But eventually, after a lot of trial and error in dating, I was able to, kind of create an app that would kind of fit my own need of finding a date that would be affordable, that would be on budget, and would be exactly to the activities that I wanted to do. So, and it kind of worked out. So this past summer, I was able to meet my girlfriend that I'm still together with today. And yeah, we are really happy about using Dime. So again, the problem is that when you open up social media, the only great things that you're going to see for your best food in New York City are going to be the really expensive, very pretty looking food that you can't probably afford. And it's kind of this disconnect of like us regular human beings and maybe the top 10% of people that are affording really nice dates. So I feel like there's a gap in the market where Dime can create the affordable date plans that people will actually use. And I also think there's a crisis in America right now of things being way too affordable. And the reason why Mayor Mondami was elected in New York City most recently and how that was a big deal was based on this affordability crisis that was going on in the entire nation, but especially in New York City and other major metro areas in the US. So how my app works is basically it's an iOS app and it already has your time and date. You input your location and you can choose a budget to your liking. And then in addition, you can choose the amount of date spots, and particularly if you want to go for maybe a food, an activity, dessert, you can choose those type of activities and then refine those activities. For example, if I really want to go for Italian food, if I want to go bowling, and then finally get some cookies after. So let's see our date generation. So we're based in New York City, and we have exactly the options that we're looking for. We can see some images, we can see ratings, we can see the location, and we also see other options at the bottom that we're able to select as well if you don't like the original options. And then upon date generation, we also have the ability to look at the weather. We can view the route on Google Maps, Apple Maps. We can save it to our favorite tabs in the middle so we can reference it later. We can additionally share it to other people, and then we can also add it to our calendar. So what are like the solution, market, competition, and bottom line that we're looking at? The solution is that like day planning might take a lot of time. We all want to be great partners, great daters, but how do we have a solution that kind of makes it a lot more quicker to make a great date so we can focus our time on other things? And additionally, I want to focus on Gen Z and people that might not have the biggest budgets to spend on a date. And I want to use AI and the resources that we have today in order to learn about, like when you use Dime, I want people to have better date generations over time because of AI learning your preferences. In the market, there's currently Tinder and Hinge, great apps for matching with dates, but there's not that second step of planning dates. In the market right now, fewer and fewer young people are going out and are willing to date. 63% of people 18 to 29 are single. More people are spending their time online and not going out and dating. So, yeah, sorry. So finally, at the end of the day, I think dating is one of the most rewarding skills that you can build in life. I think finding your life partner is the most special thing that you'll have in this world. And I think my AI date planner makes that one step that much easier for achieving something that's so fulfilling in life. Thank you.
Hello? Oh, it's on. So now we'll have a few minutes for Q&A, and we have this mic, so if you have a question, just raise your hand, and I'll come bring this over to you.
For my primary question for user retention on this kind of app, would you be worried about, is there a consistency as to stay or how do you get users to stay past the initial dating scene? So let's say, you and your girlfriend, I assume it went well, you use Dime, I'm not sure. Would you keep using Dime afterwards? Is that what you would assume users would keep doing and what if there's other, or is this one of those things that once they leave, you have the question of, the Hinges and Tinders. Well, I found my significant other. I no longer need this kind of app. I don't plan this kind of thing because this has been organized already.
Yeah, I think in terms of user retention, in my own experience, so I met my girlfriend, we went from like first dates to dating to this day. And I think actually, first dates are really hard to plan, but I think also when you've been in a relationship for a while, it gets harder to plan as interesting dates because you already like been to so many things in the same city together. So I actually think with my current experience, like time has been the most useful for curating dates when you're in an established relationship, because then it's at that point you guys already know each other. Like you don't have to like come up with something exciting as like a new dater. So I think actually like mature couples is actually where time shines.
Questions? We got one right over here.
Is there a liability if you attract the wrong type of person? How do you handle the liability if you attract the wrong type of person and there's a problem there?
If you attract the wrong person, I don't understand.
If the wrong type of person comes into your organization through your software, is there a liability in the software?
What is an example of like the wrong type of person? I don't think I understand the question.
The type of person that's there for bad reasons, not a good person. I don't know how to explain it.
Can maybe someone else help me clarify? Sorry, I don't think I quite understand.
I think there's this confusion about it being a matchmaking app rather than helping find
Okay. I'm trying to clarify that this is not a matchmaking app. It's a date planner. So assume you already done the hard work of getting someone to agree to hang out with you. What do you actually do to get what would you actually do on the date? This helps you plan the date, not like matchmaking. Does that clarify anything? Yeah. Okay.